Hey guys, Farmer Jeremiah here with Jocus Farm. So today we're going to be doing a little bit of irrigation. We got most of our irrigation laid out last year. We got it split up into sections that we use these ball valves here to let in water whenever we need it. So we got these sections set up for the tomatoes, as you can see here. We just got to run a line. So we got this section of the yellow pears. They're starting to come along real nicely. They're finally starting to grow and get bigger for us. And this section with the black cherries, and we got a couple of different types of tomatoes in there. I think a yellow pear and a tumbling tom to mix it up a bit. But as you can see, we got this set up. We got dual lines on that section and then just a single line on the back. But yeah, we're just going to show you how we do that. So we got our little irrigation toolbox here. We're going to be using 1/2-inch pipe as kind of a lead pipe. As you can see here, we got our irrigation set up, a couple of dual lines, and then we have our 1/4-inch drip line, which has a gallons per hour, or GPH, of I believe 1/2 gallon, and they have little emitters every 12 inches or every foot. So I'm going to try and show you how to do this. I'm going to attach the 1/2-inch to the coupling. Now we slid that on. Sometimes you have to lubricate it with some water or something to get it slide on better. We use drip irrigation here. It's a lot more efficient than overhead watering, and it saves time and it saves water. Couple of cons is that sometimes thirsty rodents can come in and chew on your lines. It can also get clogged up over the years, so that's a little bit of maintenance that you have to kind of keep an eye on. Pretty easy to do your own. Sometimes you get, it's pretty much a Legos, but with a water line is how I would describe it. You got, I got a T-pose or a little T here, so we can keep going on. And it comes out to divert to a ball valve, which controls the flow of water, and I painted that just to kind of make it last longer. I mean, of course over the years you're going to have to replace some of this, but in the long run it's well worth the investment. So what we're going to do is probably cut this in half because we don't need it that long, and I'll show you what we do. Now you can buy a special cutter for this, but I'm just going to fold it in half and use my knife. It's a lot easier if you have a sharp knife, but be careful. But if you already know, a sharp knife is safer than... A little side note here, when you do drip irrigation, you have to buy a regulator, because out the hose is way too much pressure, or it compresses the pressure down, and you have to buy this regulator. I don't know, I may be making that up. I just know I know you just gotta have a regulator on it, and this will help get the water to flow at a nice rate in your drip irrigation line. You can't just hook up a hose to it. You have to buy a regulator. This is an essential part to your drip irrigation, and this is where our drip irrigation starts. And we have a little two-way valve here, so we can do just some regular watering if we need to, or to fill up our... Now, we don't need that much tubing for what we're going to be doing, but the more excess you can get to fold in half, the better. Now, there are stoppers you can buy, but this is the cheap way. You just fold it in half, wrap a good gauge of wire around it, and then just crank down on it so it doesn't split open whenever it starts to receive pressure. Now we're going to take a 1/4-inch barbed coupling that we buy. We buy Rainbird brand. That's what our supplier carries. There's a lot of other brands out there that are great. Just make sure you get a good quality brand, because it will matter. They also make fancy tools to insert these into your 1/2-inch pipe or whatever you're using, but I just do it by hand. You just stab it and insert it, so there's like a little barb on there so you can't pull it out. Now that we got that done, we're going to start inserting our 1/4-inch drip line, and we'll be well on our way to get this section irrigated. Now we're going to take our 1/4-inch line and insert it into the barbed coupling here. I'm going to kind of go away for a minute so we get that in view. Just slide right on, kind of get to press it on, and then just run it the length. We also have a little stake here that we have used before, but anytime we can, we try and reuse our supplies if it's still in good shape. And at the end, I'll show you how we get that all figured out. Now you can see we got our line running down the road here. Now I always like to leave a little extra, but now we know where we're at. You see this is the last emitter, and there's the last plant in the row. So what I usually like to do is just cut it right in the middle here. Sometimes I leave a little extra, but we're going to cut it right here so it has a lead on the next time we start a new section, and a little bit of lead on the end so we can do what we're going to do next. Now we got that cut with our knife. So what we use are called tubing plugs or goof plugs. Kind of a multi-purpose thing, but as you can see in the picture, that's what we're going to do. Alright, now we got our goof plug installed. This will make sure we don't leak on the end and give us the pressure we need to irrigate. Now we're going to take our spike. As you can see, it's got little divots in it for the tube depending on where you want it to be set. So you just slide that in there, that little stake, and then we'll just drive it in the ground, and now this section is irrigated. Super happy. Thanks for tuning in. That's our little demo on how we irrigate our gardens. We do it this way on every other section mostly. Like I said, drip irrigation is great, efficient, saves time, money, and water. Happy farming. This is Farmer Jeremiah with Jocus Farm. See you guys. Hey guys, one more thing is that we keep these vol valves because they give us the ability to water only certain sections depending on if we get rain or not. One thing I wanted to talk about is I noticed, hopefully this one wasn't clogged, but we had these out for a while, and on the inside are some spider webs, and that can, it doesn't seem like a huge deal, but that can definitely clog up your lines due to the small openings in the emitters. Dirt, cobwebs, and other type of small debris can be a big factor whenever you're doing drip irrigation. It can clog your lines. But we have a little filter where our regulator is, and I believe we have a filter on the tap, like a little mesh filter. So keep that in mind. Keep your water filtered so you don't clog up your lines in the long run. It's gonna happen, but I mean, the more you can prevent it, the better you're gonna be off in the